What's up, gamers? Happy New Year. It is 2025. So let's start things out. A little bit of a shaky cam as we all bang on the table a bunch here. But it is the Prowess Phoenix list versus Hollow One. Both rocking out with our lovely little faithless looting adventures. So there's going to be a lot of graveyard shenanigans, hopefully. Not as much graveyard shenanigans as like a dredge deck or something like that, but we're both trying to bring Phoenixes back from the graveyard. We get a little bit of roll off. I thought it was fun to keep it in this time because we're rolling our Tarmodyph in there. So 6 3/4 versus 5 3/4. Also, we get to see two really awesome playmats. I don't think I got to tell Rob how awesome his Darth Maul playmat is when I was playing against him, but just like seeing it on camera here, it's like, man, that's a sweet looking playmat. All right, so I hope everybody has had a good holiday season, some time off. We did release a couple of videos while you guys were gone, or maybe you guys were able to catch them, but glad you're back. Glad you're here hanging out with us today. And I was casting a fetch land. Just kidding, it's a Dragon Rage Channeler. So yeah, you know, we're all just hanging out, having fun. I love the white border stuff. I know some people get all tilted and weird about like, oh my gosh, these white border stuff happening, but we're gonna do some lava dart and killing that off. Help just kind of control the board a little bit here from both players. But yeah, the Hollow One's whole goal is to be able to kind of cycle, drop things into the graveyard, go about things that way, and you know, be able to cheat out a Hollow One for reduced costs, be able to get there on the back of a Nethergoyf, you know, basically just value stuff within that kind of realm of Rakdos. One of the best Rakdos decks that's out there would be the Hollow One. So if you're looking about getting into Modern, because Modern is so much fun, we've got a bunch of MTGO content coming out soon where we're going to start testing out some new decks. We have a Is It Phoenix VOD coming out soon. We're going to be doing a Vintage Holiday Cube draft video, as well as a Mox Opal Urza Kappa Cannoneer Affinity list that we're going to be doing a league for. And then we're still deciding on which Green Sun Zenith deck that we want to do. We're trying to basically just show off as many different decks as possible. Which ones are we going to be having fun with? Which ones are we, you know, trying to learn from, and kind of play a little bit more MTGO, because we are an MTGO creator. So of course we talked about you get some access to codes that we can give away, which we will be giving away since it is January. So stay tuned. If you're following us on Blue Sky, Twitters, those are where you can be able to get some free points to play in a league. So yeah, if you haven't gotten on the Blue Sky train yet, you know, check it out. It's basically where all the Magic content creators have migrated, so you guys can be able to see me over there. And so we do a check here, like, okay, I think we can get away with the lava dart. The coast should be clear until they hit us with the tar fire, which is the tribal instant. So it does double duty and forces us to throw another spell here that we didn't want to do. But yeah, tar fire is going to get used. I guess we should have just bolted it to begin with, but throwing the lava dart in the graveyard is nice. But yeah, it would have been nice to use our slick shot show off there. But yeah, Tarfire, MVP, love it every time we see it pop up there. I just ordered a couple for myself. Not that I'm playing a Hollow One deck, but like, you know, I'm debating about playing a Tarma Twin deck, and so I might want to sneak at least a one of Tarfire in there just to help grow the Tarmogoyfs in that list. So we'll see what other lists we test out. We'll be, like I said, we're going to be playing more online and actually testing and going through different decks. So let me know what decks you'd like to see featured on the channel, at least for MTGO leagues. We're going to do our best to feature, of course, in the paper version here that we've got for your enjoyment. More and more adventures here. But so let's talk a little bit. We've talked a lot about Hollow One. Let's talk a little bit about the Prowess Phoenix and why Prowess Phoenix is such a cool version of the Phoenix list. One of which, oh yeah, we're getting a cycle of the Hollow One, missing a land drop, hoping to dig and find something. But one of the reasons the Prowess Phoenix list is so cool is the kind of mashup of two different strategies. You do have to kind of change your brain a little bit. If you've played Prowess decks before, you know it's usually very much focused on a instant speed. Let's pump these things. Let's go. Let's kill you. That sort of thing. Where the Phoenix basically slows it down, and you're doing a lot of stuff at sorcery speed. All right, Faithless Looting getting used for our Hollow One player. Digging, throwing that Phoenix in the graveyard, getting some options here. Of course, there is a Street Wraith, and there's the cycle of the Street Wraith. Boom. Dropping to 15. Draw a card. I do like seeing Street Wraith back in Modern. Like, it was such a cool card back in the old days of Grixis Death Shadow to now, like, see that it's back and still... Like, that's the big thing about Modern right now is there's so many old cards that people are revisiting and bringing back in these decks. And, like, I've been seeing Vengevine decks popping up online. Like, there's some cool stuff. A lot of people really kind of trying out some different things. But, yeah, I like this sorting real quick to make sure the graveyard is set up in a nice way so we know how much delirium we have. We're set up that we can be able to easily bring back our Phoenix if need be. We've got basically the top cards are the important ones. All right, but we're preparing. We're trying to set ourselves up here with a big explosive turns. That's why that Slick Shot has just kind of been hiding back there. All right, instant sorcery land in the graveyard. No creatures at the moment. Ugh, I hate, like, you could see the camera shake every time the players to the left of us are putting their decks down. But I have an idea. I have an idea of what we're going to do, and we're going to attempt a different filming strategy to help with some of the camera shakes in... hey, how about a hard cast Arclight Phoenix? Not where you want to be at, but that is the mode that we're in. And you notice that we do not opt to bring out our Slick Shot yet. We just sort of swing this across and pass turn. We do take a point of damage off that Fire Islet. Okay, so you also notice the Singleton Island. I have since taken that out of the list. It shouldn't have been in there. It was a remnant of when it was an Is It Prowess list when I was jamming it together into the Phoenix list. The Phoenix list is online. You guys can see I do need, like I say almost every episode, I need more Surveil lands. So that is one of those things that keep in mind. The list is slightly different, but if you look on the Moxfield link, which you can see all of our deck lists that we do, not only for Modern, but when we are guests on stream, which we are just finished up a big week of being a guest. We were a guest on Reversal Wizard on Monday, Kurohisuki's on Friday, and then our Unskilled Commander for the special charity event on Sunday. So it was a big week. We posted up also here on YouTube if you want to look on the post section when we are doing, we're going to try to do that more often when we are doing guest appearances on streams and trying to kind of set ourselves up for more of that this year in 2025. Got some big goals for 2025 with the content creation stuff, so stay tuned as we keep diving into things. But there's the Defective Phoenix doing a big push. Let's see. 2 mana untapped, not much cards left. Let's see what we can make happen here with how much burst damage can we do. Cast a Slick Shot for the price of for free. Bobble. And good shout from our Hollow One player, making sure we didn't miss our Surveil, because we talked about this previously when we featured the deck, that we were missing a lot of Surveil triggers and stuff like that, just trying to get back into the swing of things with the deck. And that was one of the things that we were having a harder time, is because it's been a while since we played with Dragon Rage Channeler. So that was one of the adventures, but now it is a non-creature spell, so we do get a little bit of a boost up. And so we're sitting here doing some math and trying to line things up about how we are going to try to defeat our opponent here. Basically, we know that we have to try to go for the kill, essentially. And we know that, and so it's like we're going through the math and basically saying we're going to lose stuff anyway. Like, we know we are. We have a lot of our lava darts in the graveyard. Lightning Bolt targeting the Hollow One player. And we'll do a response and just bolt that. And he says, I'm definitely dead. But little does the player know they are definitely dead. Because, well, not necessarily, because there could be another Lightning Bolt, right? So there are 8, so we're going all in. So we say, hey, here's 2 of these lava darts. I think we missed the Surveil off the Lightning Bolt, by the way. Let's sacrifice these 2. shoot you down to 6. And then we remember the surveil triggers for those. Oh, there's a Bowmaster in hand. Okay. 2 Bowmasters in hand. So the coast is clear. Because that is our 3rd spell. Which means move to combat. Arc-like Phoenix will return from the graveyard. And swing 6. Yeah, so now that's like I should have killed that, but then I would have died to slick shot. So he was dead either way there. But that shows you kind of the explosiveness. You know, your opponent's at 11, and we can just kind of kill them in one turn. And one of the reasons why I do like the Prowess Phoenix version, if you're going to run a Phoenix list, I don't know. I don't like the all-in Phoenix. You know, maybe there's a blue-red Phoenix list with Murktide or something, but I don't know. I don't know. I've been seeing a couple other people testing out some different Faithless Looting builds and different things with that, but all right, mulligan it down in our sideboard game number 2 here. Yeah, we don't do too much showing of sideboard stuff. That is one of the things that we maybe we'll add in time for that. Part of it is because it is just filmed up at our LGS. Maybe we'll set aside special monthly games or something like that in the future where we can do the like cutaway and show people discussing and talking. Hey, here's what I'm sideboarding. Here's why I sideboarded it. This is what I took out. That sort of deal. But for now, we're just going to go into look at the deck lists that are online. Let's, use those big brains of yours, try to figure out what you think are sideboard options, or, leave some comments below what you feel like would be if you're in a Hollow One deck or a Phoenix deck, what would you try to sideboard to fight against it? A big thing is, Graveyard Hate works really well for both strategies. Because there are things like Nethergoyf, there's things like the Arclight Phoenix, there's things like the Detective's Phoenix. So there's graveyard stuff on both sides. Both players care about Delirium with our Dragon Rage Channeler. Ugh, a Faithless Looting on turn 1. That's bad. Well, bad for the Phoenix player, good if you're the Hollow One player. All right, so you say, let's pitch this, let's pitch this. And there's taken 2. And a yes, Burning Inquiry. I love Burning Inquiry. He says, you can look if you want. Nope, we're not looking. Don't look. Shuffle it up. Let your opponent pick. We'll take that. All right, let's hope we get something good here. A Phoenix, that's pretty good to hit. But I mean, we did not hit a Hollow One there. We hit a Dragon Rage and a Bowmaster, which is nice. But that means, yep, there's a for free Hollow One. Because we have a Bauble to follow it up. Look at these sweet white borders. Oh, I love it. More white border action, please. All right. So now we're stuck in this awkward spot of what do we do from here? 4/4 is pretty scary. I mean, if we swing in and we have a bolt, we're okay. If we don't have a bolt and we swing in, we just get eaten, and it's like, well, that was a wasted attack. So really have to kind of line things up that we're hitting at a good spot. Don't have 2 spells to chain together here. Like, that's why we also run Manamorphose in this list, because you do Manamorphose, you chain 2 other spells together, and then you're good from there. There's the Bauble triggers. Get 2 extra draws. Let's refill things. 2 more lands added to our Hollow One's hand. They've got a bolt, though. Yeah. So, oh, there's a Phoenix as well. Detective's Phoenix in hand. We could cast it outright and just push for damage. Like, getting it out now is fine, or we could hoard it and wait and try to get a Faithless Looting. We have a Faithless Looting in our graveyard, so we can always flash it back and just, like, utilize that. But all right, let's see. What's the line here? Yeah, I'm making my opponent think. He's like, you haven't really done anything. You've just sort of put a monastery out. You put a Phoenix out in your graveyard. Like, there's nothing really happening yet. Defected Phoenix hard cast here. Again, this is a good solid play because it's like, and then the pass. I guess you could have swung with the Phoenix, but it's also just like that, like. Yeah, so there was the bauble revealed another Arclight Phoenix. So now we're just like hoping to draw into a Faithless Looting to like take advantage of it. Again, the Swift Spear is like presents a little bit of a scary potential for the Hollow One player, but not so much that it's like eventually they're going to just say, okay, either you have it or you don't, and they don't want to get blown out, so they're trying to assemble and piece something together because their hand wasn't that strong right here, right? Yeah, they have the Phoenix, they have these things. Like, I still think, you know, if you're trading a Hollow One for a Swift Spear, yeah, it hurts, but it's, you know, worse things have happened. Oh, Nethergoyf has been drawn. All right, how big is the Goyf? Probably really big at this point. Artifact. Oh, Dampening Sphere was sideboard tech we get to see here. Lands, creatures, sorcery. Yeah, 4 or 5s. Yeah, artifact, land, creature, sorcery. I think there was an instant in hand. Or maybe that was last game. I don't know. Now the Phoenix can swing across for 2. He says, maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe you don't have anything, and I'm just kind of being, you know, silly of just kind of resisting and trying not to push in. And all right, Ketria Triome here. You know, there's some specific blue cards in the sideboard, but it's really, that should be a Surveil land. I don't mind having a one of Triome in the list, but it's really, I don't know, Surveil lands. Look, there's 2 Phoenixes in hand. We do have the Bolt, so again, we do have that power to trade off and to kill off something here, but we're gonna play it safe and just sort of set ourselves up here. All right. Hey, how about a Lava Dart and a Lightning Bolt? That's pretty solid. All right, we got sorcery, lands, and creatures for do not have Delirium. All right, bring the heat. Yeah, so this is a smart play too, is keeping the Phoenix back, knowing that there is the explosive potential of a big Phoenix turn. Especially like you sit there and you see, okay, there's 2 spells there. If my opponent draws a Faithless Looting, I essentially am taking 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. I mean, they could die next turn if a Faithless Looting is drawn. Now we're going for the removal plan because we don't have the best way of doing things here. So we now have Delirium, so we get to do an Unholy Heat, a nice little sideboard tech. He's just a boy. Why would you burn him? Gotta burn that Goyf. Get this out of here. Force our opponent to now, like, reset and clear the board a bit. We, of course, have that Lava Dart, so we can be able to clear up 2 of his creatures. 1, 2, 3. There's the 3rd spell. Clear that up. Arclight Phoenix is going to come back. But yeah, we needed a Faithless Looting there. And both players kind of stare at each other. Phoenix versus Phoenix. Which one's better? Detective Phoenix versus Arclight Phoenix. Another land. That's a lot of lands. So game 1, our Hollow One player kind of was hurting on lands. Game 2, they've got all the lands they can need. 5 mana, no problem. We're casting all the stuff. No more Faithless in the graveyard for the Hollow One. They do have the ability to escape here and bring back the Nether Goyf. It will be shrunk a little bit, but that's good. Or, hey, they just have a Faithless Looting in their hand, and it doesn't matter. Why do they get all the Faithless Looting and we don't? That's the real question. All right, there's the escape. Nether Goyf is going to escape the graveyard. We'll get rid of one of our Hollow Ones, which counts as 2, an artifact and a creature. And then we need 2 other types. So how about a sorcery and a land? So 3 spells, exiled, cast for 3 mana. Here's a Nether Goyf. Land, creature, artifact. Land, creature, artifact. All right, so 3/4. Not too bad. Oh, there's the sorcery. Look how sweet that Faithless Looting looks. Yeah, some of the art for like the Faithless Lootings or other cards that they printed in that set was like turned out so good. All right, so there was a ley line. Land, creature, artifact, sorcery, and enchantment. 5, 6 now. Charmer dice, super nice. I love it every time.
Maybe you'll get a land.
It says maybe you'll get a land. Here's a land. It's an island. Again, not supposed to be in the deck. It's no longer in the deck. Need a Faithless Looting here. Do we just jam out a Phoenix? Looks like there's a Swift Spear in hand. So the option is like play a Swift Spear. Yeah. And there's a light up the stage. So we're just trying to set ourselves up. Because again, if we hit a Faithless Loot, or we'll hit the 2 exact same cards we hit before. Here's a Lightning Bolt and a Lava Dart. So if we do that, then that kind of gives us options for next turn. Where are the Faithless Lootings? Why are we not drawing any Faithless Lootings this game? Here's a bolt. Let's kill off that Swift Spear. So that is a 2/3. All right, big threats still out. So now it's kind of left with this. How are you going to respond to this? What are we going to do to deal with a 6/7 is crazy. Like the only thing that's going to make this bigger is having that tribal in there, right? Or a planeswalker. Like a battle too, but the deck's not running battles. So I don't think the deck's running any planeswalkers either. Okay, it's going to get a little smaller, but not much. All right, how small? 4/5s are still crazy. That's still a lot. So, 2 big Nethergoyfs here. Oh, okay. So the debate about the Faithless looting, just draw 2, discard 2, like just to try to grow the Goyf even more. Yeah, it's like there's no point not to. You already like if you already have, well, you lose your sorcery, but a sorcery and enchantment goes. So yeah, it was worth it. It grew. And yeah, back up to 5/6s. And Arena of Glory, of course, amazing for the escape. We'll be able to do some blockage, and then take a lot. All right, top deck the Faithless looting. Top deck the Faithless looting. That's not a Faithless looting. That's a land. All right, what can we do? What can we piece together here? I guess we fight. Yeah, I guess we fight and try to blow up some of them. A lightning. Yeah, imagine if we had a Faithless looting. Look at how much burst damage there is. Here's another lightning bolt. So there's 6 total damage to the face. Oh. Lava dart this. Blow this up. Lava dart this. Cleared off 2 threats. We know the Phoenix can escape. We know the Goyf can escape as well. We're still just like hoping beyond hope that we can get a Faithless looting to kind of get there. All right, so Exert Land, of course, remains tapped. Arena of Glory, that is. So we know that he can't escape this turn. So we are basically going to try to buy some time here. Remember, there is a time limit for the rounds. We're coming up on 28 minutes or so into it. The plus sideboard time, so like maybe it goes to time 50 minutes in a round though, so it's gonna be tough. We're gonna throw this in the way and hope that we can get a Faithless looting off the top. Here's a bobble. Let's do some drawing of cards next turn. Oh, here's a hard cast Phoenix. But Arena of Glory becomes untapped. So I don't know how well you could hear in the background. That's Trip cracking up because what we drew off the bobble was another Phoenix. Yeah, so you look at the lines here. It's just give some haste, give some flying. Like, I mean, you send 2 5/6s. You also have to like make sure you're not decreasing it too much. But as long as they at least have 4 power, you're okay. So artifact. We know we have lots of creatures and land, so we can get rid of those. And then if we have double sorcery, we're okay. All right, so we're left. Yeah, so we have creature. We say, so you're saying there's a chance? No, because we have the defective Phoenix. Oh, yeah, there's one that, yeah. Then there's the 2 that we drew. So we had all the Phoenix, but no Faithless looting. So things are all tied up 1-1 here in this series. Now going to game number 3. This time we're on the play, so we'll see if this will work out in our favor here. Boom. Blink. In and out. Here we go. Game 3. Who will win? Which red deck will come out on top? Which Phoenix will come out on top? Oh, you see that sideboard tech in the Hollow One's hand? It's not only in there for other graveyard hate, but also works really well against Splinter Twin players. For any of you players that were not around during the time of Splinter Twin the first time, Rakdos Charm, real good. All right, Dragon Rage Channeler to start things out. Hollow One cycling coming out on the Hollow One player. Going to be losing some life, drawing a card. Let's see, will we get to cast a Faithless Looting, or will we just watch our opponent doing? Drop it to 15. Fetch. Shock. This is a... Just kidding. We've sideboarded into a Death Shadow deck. Not really, but... Ooh, another Goyf. Ooh, a Bobble. That's a pretty good turn 1 because it's already a 3/4. Alright, what do we have to do to answer that? Bobble, Surveil triggers. Put that land in the graveyard. I've also been doing a lot more, like I mentioned, we're going to be showcasing an affinity list. And so it's been weird in my brain to go from like a deck like this that goes, yes, pop your baubles like immediately, to going, no, hoard that stuff. That counts towards your Metalcraft for your Mox Opals and stuff. Because it's fun to be able to play Mox Opals online, because I'm not going to be spending the crazy amount of money on the Mox Opals right now. Hey, we got the Faithless Looting. We did it. Surveil Trigger. We finally got there. We finally got to cast the Faithless Looting. Draw 2, discard 2. Do we got any Phoenixes? There's one. What else do we pitch? Lots of thinking about this one. A second. All right, so that was a mistake. I don't like the idea of pitching a Faithless Looting. It's such a good card to be able to cast for 1 mana instead of the casting for 3. We already have one in the graveyard. Pitching the other one doesn't actually do what we want it to do. So if you're playing this type of Phoenix list in the future, there's the learning moment for everybody at home. All right. Boop, 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 boop. There's our Phoenix. Bringing our Phoenix back. No longer have Delirium, though, by exiling our instant. But we needed that other spell to be able to bring the Phoenix back. So we're pushing for 3. Oh, yeah, that I think it's just like... I don't know. The Phoenix... I don't know, the Faithless Looting thing. I'm still, I'm like looking back at it and seeing that moment. It's like, no, don't just discard him just off of another one. Hold on to him. They're so good. All right, got the beats coming. 3 damage. All right, let's see. They have the. It's like we've got the access to the Rakdos Charm still, Looks like we're gonna. I think we have. No, we don't have delirium yet. Lands, artifact, creatures. So we'll do some fetching. Go get ourselves a Dragon Rage Channeler probably out. Is that the plan? Or are we keeping? No, we're not. So we're leaving ourselves ready with our Rakdos Charm. So in case we do some Faithless Looting shenanigans, then we're okay. But this is why I said to keep the Faithless Looting, because I pitched a land last turn to be able to flash back the Lava Dart. Well, let's see about another trigger here. Do some debating. I think there's a creature on top or something. Let's do some cheeky peeks at what our opponent have coming up. Yeah, the Hollow One's hand is starting to construct into something that's going to have a little bit more staying power and last a little bit longer, where we're very much all in with the Phoenix built right now. Dropping our opponent to 7. So again, like, that's another attack from a Phoenix, a Bolt, and a Lava Dart. Like, we're setting ourselves in a good position here. Hey, light up the stage. Do some surveillance. We're going to keep that on top. All right. Unholy Heat. Still don't have Delirium, so that does make it a little bit harder. Unholy Heat only hits creatures or planeswalkers. Doesn't hit players. If it hit players, that'd be insane. Ooh. A Bowmaster flashing in. I'm going to say sadness on the stack. We'll shoot this Dragon Rage Channeler. We're trying to find our Orc army. End up going with this 1/1 bird. Did not bring my infinite tokens with us to the shop. They were in my commander quiver, so no lucks with that. But can you hear the crazy kitten in the background? What are you doing, crazy cat? All right. So Hollow One players pretty much only weakness right now is a lack of flying. If they can assemble enough stuff here, like, I guess they get Dragon Rage Channeler online, they're okay. So they have, like, they have an Arena of Glory, and we've seen how good they are about utilizing that. Yep, there's the arena. Double red, exerted. Of course, I like that, pulling it slightly out of the sleeve to help give us that indication. Ugh. Exile target player's graveyard. But yeah, so that each creature deals 1 damage to its controller is the anti-twin tech. So that's why I like seeing that there. Losing that is painful because, again, we had all those faithless lootings that we had been hoarding in our graveyard. So that was that kind of blowout moment of going, oh, here's the exerted Dragon Rage Channeler. So it has haste, instant creature, artifact, land, bring the team across. So a big swing change with life totals about to happen. Yeah, it's like Dragon Rage Channeler does have to attack because it does have haste. It has to attack this turn. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 total damage. Oh, bam, immediate swap back, right? That's the kind of power of both of these decks. They really could just, like, punch you out of nowhere, and you're just kind of in a lot of trouble. We'll drop to 4 because it's the same thing. Like, we're not going to be hit with a bolt or nothing like that, so we're okay. And we can still cast our Stomping Ground if we need to. Get the Triome. All right, so we need, I don't know. We need a bolt and a lava dart to win here. There's a light up the stage. Yeah, that doesn't really help us here. Pick your poison, one of our sideboard techs that we brought in, because Dragon Rage Channelers, because of the Detective Phoenix, and if they just keep it back as a blocker or something like that, or they can keep the Detective Phoenix, they can't keep the Dragon Rage Channeler. But if being able to use it to clear a path, we're gonna pop this and draw a card. Says, do we take the one, or are you gonna deal it here? It says, I'll deal it there. We draw a Dragon Rage Channeler. We have a light up the stage. Not really anything to do, so bring the beats. We could have played the land. It doesn't matter. It says, don't you fog me. And there's the handshake. That's it there. Yeah, so like we had some lines. We had some outs potential there. Not really getting it. The biggest thing is don't discard your Faithless Looting to Faithless Looting the best you can. Do your best not to, because you get blown out by Graveyard Hates and things like that. But also a 1-mana draw 2 is much better than a 3-mana draw 2. So, think about that for the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to see a little bit of the sideboard tech, and again, how much Graveyard Hate both the players are bringing in. Dampening Sphere is amazing in this because your opponent's going to be casting lots of spells in one turn, so making them tax it is really, really good. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, every Monday and Thursday, we've got new gameplay action for you, and then the sprinkling of MTGO and interviews and other fun stuff on Saturdays now. But that's going to do it for us. Happy 2025, y'all. We'll see you all next game.